we have someone in the live. Oh, it's JDM, of course. Hello, JDM. Well, I mean, that is true. So we're looking to get a few more people in. Hopefully before while it's starting. So we should get Winfield in halfway through. Don't know where Young Shots is. And Uncone, or because it's got no N after the K, so Uncone or Uncown, something like that. Anyway, I don't know his PSN. It's not telling me. He's not been active, so but he did check in. And we've also got TTV Ryan, who does a question mark on check-in. But they have the invites anyway, so I'm going to tell everyone who is in the lobby to ready up for pre-season testing. And there we go. Good luck to our drivers for today. Only 4 at the moment, so should get a few more people in if they realise that it is pre-season testing today, which is what they checked in for. Right, so we have 30 minutes of practice, and then if our drivers choose to, for a bit more practice on qualifying pace, then we'll have a one-shot qualifying and a 25% feature race, which will be 8 laps. So we'll see who comes out first. The corner cutting is set to strict. Standard damage with a reduced damage rate, and park firme rules are off, so the drivers can play with their setups if needed. It's going to be a full dry. JDM is the first one out on track in the Prema, so that's Ferrari's reserve driver for this season. Taking it nice and slow, cutting the corners, probably trying to keep as much tyre life as possible in those hard compound tyres. We also have Velocity in the Trident, that is Alfa Romeo's reserve driver, and he's come out for his outlap behind JDM. Now we have TTV Dylan coming out the pits for ART, Hass's reserve driver for this season. And we're just waiting for one more to come out of the garage. JDM will be the first to set a lap if he hurries up. If not, then it's going to be Velocity. Taking the chicane. Showing that it is possible to make that chicane without ripping down those bollards, and Velocity gets past JDM. And he'll be the first one to set a lap in this session. 7 Cryptic staying in the garage for now. He's Aston Martin's reserve driver for this season in Charouz. And the reason for that is because I thought that F2 2021 cars would have came out with a Saudi Arabia update, but it turns out that they're not. As velocity invalidates, I'm not sure whether that's this and next lap invalidation. Sometimes that does happen, so we'll see. Yes, it is, so he'll have to go again. It's unfortunate for him, and he goes straight on through the bollards. JDM goes back into the pits, so probably not wanting to do a hard tyre run, but if I were him then I'd probably do that first and then get quicker as the session goes on. But Dylan will be the first one to actually start a flying lap, so let's stay with him this lap. Ooh, is that invalid? No, it's not invalidated. Nicely done through those corners. Through sector 1, a 26.3. Not sure what a good sector 1 is in F2 cars. Don't really race them very often. Opens DRS down the Mistral straight in sector 2. Down into the chicane now. Nicely done under braking. Very nice through the chicane, keeping it nice and clean on the exit. Full power now down to a swooping right-hander. Velocity has actually got damage in front, so let's hope that Velocity doesn't hold Dylan up in any way. Cryptic is on an outlap. It's the first we've seen him all session. And we're 5 minutes in already, so that 5 minutes has gone quite quick. Dylan still going for a lap then. Probably getting affected by the dirty air of Velocity. Goes a bit wide around that corner. Now into the last 2 corners. Ooh. And he invalidates. So he will not set a lap time. Thinks about trying to enter the pit lane, but just taking it easy now. Going round again. Now, R7 Cryptic. Velocity has left. JDM is back on his outlap on the hard tyres again. So not sure why he actually pitted. Maybe had a this and next lap invalidation, as we've seen twice now. Like I said, we should get more people joining through the session. More action on track, hopefully. Not sure whether Velocity lagged out or if he just left. Now, Cryptic opens the DRS and will start his flying lap now. So stay with him this lap. Nicely done under braking. Hits the apex nicely in turn 1 and turn 2. Nice on the exit as well, keeping it nice and clean. Taking as much of that corner as possible with the strict track limits and keeping it valid still. Purple sector 1 of 26.7. That's because Dylan didn't complete his lap. Believe that it was a 26.3 from Dylan. Now down the Mistral straight. Into the chicane. Nicely done over that curb. Hitting the apex of the second part of the corner and the third. Nice on the exit. I think he has got JDM ahead, so JDM's going to have to watch out and stay out of the way. Around the swooping right-hander. JDM nicely keeping out of the way. Nice and clean through those corners. Another driver going wide, but taking a late apex into that corner. Now into the final section of the track, final two corners. Can he keep it valid? Nicely done through that last corner. Opens DRS, and he'll be the first to set a lap time, set the benchmark. So 146.2. So Aston Martin's reserve in Charouz, doing a nice lap. I think that JDM has went to go into the pits again, got an invalid lap or something, but not sure what JDM is actually doing this session. He's in and out the pits. So yeah, see whether Cryptic goes for another lap. He is nearly 400ths down. Could probably still gain on that time. Yeah, he's going for another push because he's open DRS. Ryan has joined, so there's the Carlin driver. Not a reserve for AlphaTauri because we have, well, AlphaTauri have two reserves that are not racing in Tier 2. But he is a part of AlphaTauri, just the Tier 2 team. Cryptic up by just over a tenth in the second sector. Now around to the final bit of the lap. Again. He must be improving because he's decided to carry on. Unless he's just doing a long run on those hard tyres, making the most out of it. And he does improve by 3/10. And Ryan is now in Carlin. So Dylan is on his outlap, so is JDM. And I suppose that Ryan will be coming out soon. 19 minutes to go then of this pre-season testing of Season 2 of Rapid Racing League. See whether Cryptic can improve. He's up by 2/10. Nice first sector. Can he keep the momentum going for the rest of the lap? So that JDM can get a clean lap in as well, and Dylan. Dylan just coming around the final corners to start his lap. Let's see what Cryptic can do. He's over a tenth and a half up on his Sector 2 time. So still improving on those hard tyres. The tyres are obviously getting better with age. His yellow flag. That's JDM. Not sure what he's doing again. So we watch Cryptic. Although Dylan has invalidated on his lap as well. So he's yet to set a lap. But I'm sure he'll get one in soon. And Cryptic is down by just over 400ths of a second on that lap. He's going so well through the first sector. He's up by over 2/10, and now he's invalidated. So he'll most likely go for a cool down lap, or just go full power and practice his lines and braking zones and the track limits too, since France is a massive track limit problem on this game. So JDM will be the next to cross the line to start a lap. Let's hope he can actually complete one. Got 17 minutes left Ryan's just coming out on his out lap. So JDM now crossing the line to start his flying lap. Into turn 1. Nice and clean with track limits. Turn 2. Very close to an invalidation there. I'm surprised how it's not invalidated. Nice and clean through those 2 corners. Nicely hitting the apexes. And it's a 26.8. That's a... says that it's the fastest first sector. I'm not sure what Cryptic's was. Onto the Mistral straight now. Winfield has joined. Also for Carlin. Getting a little bit of a toe from Ryan in front is JDM. Goes a little bit wide after the apex. That's going to slow him down off the exit of this corner. Through sector 2, so 59.2. Not the fastest second sector. Now into the final sector. Nicely done through those corners as well. See what lap time he can bring up. Of course, it seems like the tyres are better the more laps that you do. So his first lap is just to see where he can put himself. Opens DRS for the final time of the lap. And it's a 45.9. It's very close between him and Cryptic. Ooh, very close. So that's just 0.022. We've got a spinner. That's Dylan, I believe. Yeah, he's trying to... yeah, he's gone into the pit lane, the same as what happened with JDM. Let's see whether JDM's still improving on his lap. He's up by over a tenth. So this could be an improvement. Ryan is also on his lap. He'll be the first to cross the line in the Carlin. Nicely done through the chicane. Ryan is a quick driver. He's proved that in Tier 1 last season. Sector 2, purple, 58.1. See what JDM can do. It doesn't show, so we'll carry on with Ryan. Let's see whether he goes a bit wide and... ooh, doesn't take the apex there. We'll have a slingshot from that corner. Carry momentum through these corners. Round the final turn, and we'll open DRS now. And across the line, what's it going to be? It's quickest, a 145.2. Nice lap there from Ryan. JDM doesn't improve actually, but he is going again. So let's see whether Ryan goes again as well. Winfield is on his out lap as well. Through the first sector. He's up by over a tenth. Is Ryan. Ooh, squirmy on the rear there. On the exit. See whether JDM was up. Oh. Usually it tells you when you go over to another driver, but now into the chicane for Ryan. Nicely done again. Winfield now starts his lap as well. JDM behind. He is down on his time, so this is not a push lap from JDM, I don't think. But it's not showing the sector times actually. Might be an issue there, as we don't get to see whether anyone's improving. Ryan has actually invalidated on his lap, JDM's still going, but I'm not sure whether he's improving or not, since it doesn't want to tell me the sector times. And JDM spins. So we have our first spin of pre-season testing, and it's from JDM in the Prema Ferrari reserve. Currently in third place with a 1:45.979. JDM is probably just cooling down the tyres. Oh, no, he decides to go into the pits now. So Winfield is on his lap. 58.5 through the second sector. Those tyre pressures look low. They look quite into the ground. Maybe that's something to do with the heat into the tyres. Nicely done through that corner. Keeping it nice on the apex as well. Not going too wide. Now into the final two corners. So let's see what Winfield can do. Round the final corner. Nice exit. Opens DRS. And he goes first. It's a 1:44.9. What a lap. That's a great lap on the hard tyres. So now it's Carlin 1 and 2 at the moment. Let's see whether Winfield goes again. But Ryan is actually up on his time, but he's invalidated and gone very wide. JDM went into the pits. Dylan starts his lap, and so does Cryptic. Of course, the first one to set a lap this session was Cryptic. Winfield is actually invalidated. He was 2/10 up on his time, so he's probably going to have a bit of a cool down on his tyres and go again, or he might peel into the pits at the end of the lap. Dylan now through the first sector, a 26.3 again, so keeping it consistent with the sector time in sector 1. Now onto the Mistral straight. Opens DRS on the run down to the chicane. Nicely done through the chicane. And on the exit, keeping it nice and clean. Through the second sector, it's a 58.0. Fastest middle sector for Dylan. This could be a good lap. Ooh, JDM going slow into turn 1. Shouldn't affect anything. But with 9 minutes to go, we're yet to see a soft tyre run. Or whatever they use in F2. I don't really know, but... now, round the final corners, Young Shots has joined. That's a Ferrari reserve, so he'll be in Prema with JDM. Quite a quick driver in F2 as well. Opens DRS, does Dylan. Down the final straight. And he goes first, a 1:44.5. What a lap from Dylan. Keeping it nice and clean there. That whole lap was just amazing. And Cryptic also improves by 2/10. 2.5 tenths. Young Shots has left again, so not sure what's happening there. Winfield invalidated again. He was 1/10 off, just over a tenth off. But yeah, Dylan, great lap there. JDM cutting corners. It's all good. Cryptic is up by 2/10, so he's finding a lot more pace as well. Getting a little bit of a slipstream from Dylan there. Dylan moves out the way. That could help Cryptic on his lap as he goes into the chicane. Nice and clean. That slipstream could have been a massive benefit. JDM, I believe, has spun. Yeah. Oh, he's got to be careful there. Make sure he doesn't rejoin unsafely. And Cryptic is up by 0.08. So not by much, but it's an improvement. But yeah, still yet to see some soft tyre runs. And I think that's JDM again. No, he hasn't spun this time. Cryptic now. Misses the apex a little bit, but still shouldn't cost him. And he stays 4th, but he has improved again. Ryan is on a lap now, and so is Winfield, up by 2/10 and not invalidated this time. So we'll see where this puts Winfield as he goes into the chicane at the end of the Mistral straight. Nicely done there, and not invalidating, even though he's used as much as the track of the track as he can. Through the second sector, 4/10 up. This could be a mega lap. This could put him P1. Now into sector 3. Through very awkward part of the track, I must say. Let's see whether he nails the apex again. Yes, he does. Nicely done there on the exit as well. It's a good lap from Winfield. Let's hope he keeps it clean through the final 2 corners. Now we just see what his exit... Oh, entry not so good onto the final corner, but the exit is still quite good. Now across the line, a 144.7. He ended up being just under 2/10 up. So Dylan still first, and now Young Shots on his outlap for Prema, Ferrari reserve as mentioned. And now across the line, Ryan invalidated though. He was 100ths up, so not too much gained anyway on that lap. Cryptic, I believe, is the next one to cross the line, but he's also invalidated. So yeah, still yet to see any of those soft tyres, the red tyres. I believe that they're red tyres anyway, but yeah, it's a pretty intriguing session at the moment. Young Shots will be the next one to start a lap, but see whether Winfield's improving. He's just down on his time, 0.014. So we'll see whether he can find any time through the 3rd sector. He had it pretty much nailed anyway on his previous lap, except for that final corner, so that's maybe where he's going for the big improvement. Young Shots now starts his lap in the Prema. Round the final 2 corners goes Winfield. Ooh, still a bit wide there on the exit. That's gonna compromise his exit more than entry. And he goes quickest, 144.518. So just a fraction quicker than Dylan at the moment. All still running the hard tyres. Ryan will be the next one to cross the line. He's 3/10 up through the 2nd sector. This could be a great lap. Where does it put him? And he goes first, a 144.3. Nice lap from Ryan. Very quick lap. So that was very clean then. And Cryptic has spun. 2nd spin of this session. Was on a lap. Actually didn't invalidate. So I don't know how much he was up on his time by. But yeah, he was down by 7.5 at the end of that because of the spin. Young Shots will be the next one to cross the line, but he has invalidated. So 58.1 through the 2nd sector, so still quick. Winfield improving and gets the fastest sector 2. So let's see whether he can get the final corner right and see how much this will put him up by. Ooh, nicely done through those corners. Now through the 2nd last corner. And he peels into the pit lane. So he must have been down on his time to abandon that one, or low on fuel. I believe he is low on fuel. Ryan, let's see what he does. Whether he pits or whether he stays out, if he's improving. 2 minutes to go in this session, it's flown by. And oh, Ryan invalidates through the second last corner. And he's going to pull into the pit lane and hopefully not get disqualified. No, he doesn't. So, yeah. Cryptic now will be the next one to cross the line. You've got 7 laps old hard tyres. He's the Aston Martin reserve driver. Around the final corner now. Nicely done. Nice on the exit as well. And across the line. So 45.2. Still staying 4th place. But it's an improvement, so it's doing quite well on that amount of old tyres. That amount of laps old tyres. And he still improves by that much, so it's quite a good lap. And now Young shots to cross the line, invalidated again at 57.8 through the second sector though. Just getting the laps in, even though he's doing invalid laps, that would have been a 44.4. Would have placed him in second right now. There's Dylan, he's on his lap, not invalidating. So we'll see through the second sector he's 2/10 down. So he really needs to find a lot of time through this third sector to improve on his lap time and to possibly jump Winfield for second place. Only 30 seconds left. So yeah, this session has absolutely flown by. Young Shots has only got this chance to do a lap, and so has Cryptic and Dylan. I believe that Dylan will get round the final corners just before, and Cryptic has actually spun, so he won't be completing another lap. Dylan now on the DRS straight. Let's see whether he's up on his time. It's a 44.6, so he was down by 700s. He could still go again. He got the fastest third sector. Let's see whether Young Shots he's not invalidated, so he could be on for a good lap here, a late lap. Oh, a bit of oversteer there, going into that corner, but nicely done on the apex and on the exit. Round the final 2 corners now, keeping it clean with track limits. Round the final corner, nice on the exit, hitting that apex as well. DRS open now, see what lap time this can be. The 44.2, and he tops the session right at the end there. Amazing lap from Young Shots, the Ferrari reserve driver. A 44.287. So let's see whether Dylan can improve. And he's down by 2/10. So I don't know if this will be a improvement in the final sector for Dylan, but we will see. The only car now to complete a lap. Or yet to complete a lap, I must say. Hitting that apex nicely. But that probably cost him a bit of time as he got onto the curb. Oh, and that's invalidated. So Dylan not having a valid last lap. And finishes the session in 4th. So that was a good. Oh, Dylan has actually crashed over the line. I wasn't looking at that. So very interesting session. Puts us, gives us a bit of clearance on what the season is probably going to be like. Getting a screenshot of that. Velocity, the only one not setting a lap time, leaving. So JDM slowest of the F2 drivers, but interestingly we didn't see any soft tyre run. Whether they had access to a soft tyre, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the F2 rules are, but Carl in there, second and third Good for AlphaTauri there, showing that they've got pace, and Dylan as well for Haas in ART. And Cryptic getting a lot of laps in on his tyres, so good data. And now we have a non-mandatory one-shot qualifying and 25% feature race, just so people can get a bit of a feel for what it's going to be like next week when the season does start. So we'll see who's quickest after this. And this will be a soft tyre run, I believe, for everyone. Just waiting for everyone now to ready up in the garage. It's going to be difficult to spectate on a one-shot qualifying, but I'll try my best. So, Velocity is an AI. Cryptic now leads, basically. JDM up. Oh, Dylan up into first. Young Shots up into first. So Dylan and Young Shots and Cryptic, they're all swapping positions. Winfield on the exit of the second corner, gaining a lot of time on everyone else. Braking early for that chicane. I believe that he's not... Is that an AI? I'm not sure whether that's an AI or not. But Dylan, fastest through the second sector. I mean first sector. And yeah, they all on the soft tyres. So... Young Shot's actually last. He's invalidated on his lap. Fastest, of course, in pre-season testing. JDM is 5th at the moment. So Dylan still leads. Through Sector 2, so 56.9, so completely different to practice session for pre-season testing. I'm not actually sure whether I'm commentating on AIs or not. I can't really tell until the race. But it's a very nice lap from Dylan if it is him. I believe that that's an AI. Surely. Yeah. Oh no, he's Dylan. So, he was doing a great lap until he invalidated. Ryan now in the lead. Opens DRS, goes down the final straight. And a 42.3. See where everyone is. So Ryan and Winfield for Carlin, 1 and 2. So nice from them. JDM in 3rd, the Ferrari reserve driver. And Cryptic in 4th for Aston Martin and Chirouz. Velocity, Dylan and Young Shots, well, Velocity DNF'd apparently, so that's his AI. Dylan and Young Shots both invalidating on their laps. So people can take part in this 25% race if they really want to. So we'll see how everyone gets on. Of course, this is only pre-season, so no points will go towards the championship, as the championship starts in Portugal next week for round 1 of this 14 race calendar. And tomorrow there's pre-season testing for Tier 1. Siski, I believe, will be your commentator for that. 60 minutes of practice, and the same again with one-shot qualifying and a 25% race. But now we go for the pre-season race for F2. 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Good start from Winfield there. Nice start from Cryptic as well, already up to 3rd. And the two Carlins going side by side into turn 1 and 2. Oh, Ryan loses out there to Cryptic as well. Cryptic going for the lead. But Ryan's looking to come back at Cryptic. Oh, and JDM bumping into other cars. Cryptic goes off. JDM spins. And Winfield and Ryan both going side by side. These two Carlin drivers, very competitive. And Dylan also looking to get in on the action as well. And now down the straight, Ryan's going to get some great slipstream. Going for the lead on his teammate Winfield. Down the inside for the chicane. And he gets up into P1. Nice move. And now Dylan is around the outside of Winfield. Dylan has to go off there and nearly gives a position to Young Shots. So this is basically a four-way battle for the lead right now. As Winfield and Dylan are actually going side by side through that sweeping right-hander. Oh, nearly a big crash. And Dylan goes for the switchback on Winfield. This is amazing racing here. And now Winfield on the switchback on Dylan. Young Shots up the inside of Winfield and Dylan. Nearly spins. Oh, very close on the exit there. Wow, what a first lap. And it's only pre-season as well. Cryptic and JDM both battling side by side through the second last corner. Now into the last corner. JDM has to cut the corner a little bit there. Not ideal. But yeah, Ryan leading by 1.1 seconds. JDM looking for a move on Cryptic again. Could he go for the move into turn 1? And he goes around the outside actually. Oh, bit of oversteer there. And massive snap. Oh, and they make contact again. It's the second time this race that they make contact. JDM now stays 6th behind Cryptic. So these two haven't had the best experiences with... Whoa! That was very close. Haven't had the best experiences with each other in Tier 1 last season. Quite a few collisions. So Winfield now gaining on Dylan, gonna go up the inside into the chicane. Dylan cuts him off and keeps P2. So Winfield has to stay behind for a little bit longer. But he gets the exit there on Dylan. This could bring him overspeed into the swooping right-hander. So let's see. Oh, both side by side still. And Young Shots now. Young Shots around the outside of Winfield. Maybe getting the switchback on the exit of this corner. And he does. He gets a better exit. But he doesn't go for anything. JDM the first one to get a penalty. And JDM has spun actually. And he's got front wing damage. So not ideal. JDM has retired on track. Winfield defending or going for a move on Dylan. Either one of the two. But Dylan weaving down the straight now, trying to get rid of the slipstream from Winfield. DRS will now be enabled, so this will help Winfield get through. And possibly Young Shots as well, as Young Shots is very close there. Is that 3 wide? No, it's not, but Young Shots is on the outside. And he gets them both! What a move from Young Shots! Wow, that was a great move there. But now onto the DRS straight. It's going to leave him vulnerable to both Dylan and Winfield, as they will both have DRS. Winfield will get the double slipstream. Oh, never mind. Oh, Winfield actually crashed. So Dylan now up the inside of Young Shots, and he gets the move done, squeezes Young Shots out. So a great move there. And Young Shots gets a penalty. So the two Ferrari reserves both getting penalties for track limits there. Now into the swooping right-hander. Young Shots stays behind Dylan. So great battles so far. And this is only for pre-season, as mentioned. So I hope that it's even better than this, if we can get any better, for round 1. Oh, and Young Shots there on the exit of that very awkward corner. Must have caught the curve and does a half spin there. So Dylan and Young Shots both big gainers in this race. And we're all on the hard tyres actually. Ryan sets the fastest lap, is leading by nearly 3 seconds now. Winfield closing back up to Young Shots, but Winfield has got damage on the front left there, so he's not going to be great through the corners. He might drop out of DRS, and he has done actually. So not much happening at the moment since Young Shots half spin there. But there's still pit stops to go, I believe, in a feature race. I believe it's mandatory. I'm not entirely sure on that one though. Winfield actually gaining down the straight, so his setup must be high speed for the straights. And all Winfield needs to do is stay within 3 seconds of Young Shots, if possible. With that front wing damage, it's going to make it more difficult, but Winfield is a quick driver, as is Young Shots, so it would be a great battle here in terms of the positions at the end. Does Winfield decide to pick? No, stays out. Yellow flag in sector 3, that's cryptic. He was catching up to Winfield. A 1:44.5 for Ryan. Still leading by 3.1 seconds. So doing a nice job there for Carlin. As was Winfield until he got the damage. I don't actually know what happened with Winfield. He must have spun off the exit of the straight or something. On the entry of the straight, I mean. Young Shots just not closing the gap to Dylan since he lost the rear end. So these two, very similar pace must be. If Velocity was in here, then maybe we could have had a bit more of a battle, but he left basically near the start of the practice session for pre-season. Velocity is a quick driver, so of course Alfa Romeo's reserve, his AI, is now going into the chicane at the end of the straight, so quite far back. So Ryan then, having a nice comfortable lead, sets the fastest lap again. Really got pace, Ryan has, in these F2 cars. Of course, setting the fastest lap nearly every single lap. It's just amazing that he can keep the life in the tyres and still go quicker. So let's see how much he is up on his time. He's down on his time actually this lap through his first sector. The gap between Young Shots and Dylan staying around 2 seconds, but now actually 1.7 seconds. So Young Shots just needs to gain 7/10 and he's back within DRS of Dylan. So once Young Shots gets into that DRS, they're going to be so close together, and I think that will be the same for the rest of the race. Dylan gets a penalty now for track limits, but that won't affect his position, since Young Shots also has that 2-second penalty. But I don't blame him for not pitting, it's only 8 laps. But I did think that in a feature race, pit stop was mandatory, but apparently not. So we'll see. The gap just seems to stay the same between Young Shots and Dylan. It's 1.6 now. So Young Shots is gaining a little bit. Not much. Needs to get... That's only 4 seconds of penalties for Young Shots. But now, he's just made his job a bit more difficult, since he will have to overtake Dylan and get 2 seconds over 2 laps. So, and he's 1.5 seconds behind now. I believe that Cryptic is actually catching up to Winfield as well, so we could see a battle on the last lap here, due to Winfield's damage. Cryptic having quite a quiet race, but it's about getting the mileage in that matters for pre-season. Young Shots 1.9 behind, so he's actually lost time, about 4/10 since the last checked. Dylan has actually closed the gap by about 2/10 to Ryan, but Ryan still managing the gap quite well here. 3.5 seconds now actually, just as I said that. And he's only 0.036 down on his time as well. Young Shots is actually 1.1 behind Dylan and sets the fastest lap of the race. So we could have a last lap battle here. Dylan gets another penalty. So this is for position. If Young Shots can just get within DRS of Dylan, then should be able to overtake him, and this will be for track position since they both have the same amount of penalties. But it's 1.5 at the detection point, 1.4 now, and I don't really think that there'll be any other place on this track to get the move done for Young Shots, even if he does catch up. But a nice controlled race for Ryan there in the Carlin for Alpha Tauri. And then ART in second at the moment for Haas. And then a Ferrari reserve in Prema in third place. Another Carlin in fourth for AlphaTauri. Charouz in fifth for Aston Martin. A Trident in sixth, but that's an AI. That's for Alfa Romeo. And JDM, the Ferrari reserve, DNFing. So Ryan wins the pre-season race. Dylan finishes second and gets the fastest lap. And Young Shots finishes third. Cryptic gets a penalty. Winfield will finish fourth. Good race from him, managing that damage. And Cryptic will finish fifth. So a good race from everyone. It was great to see people battling. So great race. Well done, guys. I'll screenshot those results as well for the team principals. All did very well. It was very interesting. Not around 2, is there? Surely not. I didn't put a round 2 on, so. But yeah, Dylan gets the fastest lap at the end of that. So, really good. JDM's got 6 points. Fastest lap, what? Must be glitched. But yeah. Great race, guys. And join Siski. I'll leave his Twitch actually. Yeah, I'll tell you guys his Twitch just in case. So it's SISKKY and then 4 underscores, and that will be the commentator for tomorrow for Tier 1 pre-season testing. So thanks for joining, and see you guys next week for round 1.